This is Astro. He is a 6-year-old Japanese and the best dog in the entire world. Any objections to this fact can send a letter to the opinion box right here. You may be wondering why a dog is in a thumbnail for a game dev video of all things. Well, that's because he's the star of a new stage in my game Splash Out. Not only that, but I've added 3 other stages to the game, including a haunted mansion, an opera, and Puerto Rico. It'll make more sense in the future, trust me. But I haven't stopped there since I've practically doubled my weapon count to 9 main weapons and 7 sub-weapons, giving us a total of 60 different combinations. I don't think I've ever had so much content to show in a devlog until now, but I guess that's what you get for not uploading in like 6 months. Sorry about that. So I guess I should start with the new stages. If you see my past 2 devlogs, you can probably tell I've been in the same beach logo for quite some time now. Don't get me wrong, I love this stage and it fits the game perfectly, but after testing on the same stage for months and months on end, it kinda gets boring after a while. So I made the executive decision to add more stages into the game. The first stage I decided to do was a haunted mansion in August for an October devlog. It's March now, by the way. Anyway, what separates this stage from the beach is that it has one platform that moves left and right. If you've ever played Smash Bros before, it's kinda like Smashville with hazards off. Originally, I just had the platform move back and forth, but after playtesting on this stage for a bit, I've noticed that the stage felt a bit lifeless. Ironic, I know, coming from a haunted mansion, but I felt like it needed a little bit more to stand out. So I decided to make some ghost sprites and have 2 of them hold up the platform. And once I was finished with it, I felt like the stage had a lot more personality than before. One little cool thing I decided to add when I was making the ghosts was to have the ghosts change colors every time the stage was selected. It's a small touch, I know, and I doubt many players will notice it, but I'm sure those who do notice it will appreciate the attention to detail. The last thing I added was this fog filter that covered the entire stage. I had to tweak it a lot because I wanted it to be noticeable enough that the players realize that there's fog around the stage, but at the same time, I didn't want it to become too distracting to affect the gameplay. But at the end of the day, this was a really fun stage to work on, and the end result is amazing in my opinion. The next stage I worked on was the living room. This is a flat stage with no platforms, with a giant TV in the middle showing pictures of the best dog in the world. Once again, any objections to this fact can send a letter to the opinion box right here. Oh, fun fact, this was supposed to be a laboratory that had a screen showing pictures of lab dogs. This stage was supposed to be a reference to SpongeBob SquarePants of all things. But the more I worked on it, the more I realized it looked less like a laboratory and more like an old lady's living room. So I made the hard decision to scrap the whole lab idea and turn it to the stage you see now. Also, shoutouts to Black Lion for suggesting to add this plan to the stage when I was streaming. Here's my Twitch plug, by the way. But yeah, every 10 seconds the TV will change to a random picture of Astro with a CRT filter that I found on the Godot shader website. MIT, by the way. Getting it to work was pretty straightforward, which is always nice because getting things to work smoothly the first time is very, very rare when it comes to programming. Like the mansion, the results were pretty fantastic to look at, but once the living room was all finished, I began to work on probably my most ambitious stage design-wise. So, I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm Puerto Rican, and sometimes I like to show off I'm Puerto Rican from time to time. So I came up with the idea of creating a stage that took place entirely in Puerto Rico. That is my sole motivation. Anyway, this stage is a dual platform stage based off of one of Puerto Rico's most iconic landmarks, the El Morro. I'm sorry, I can't roll my R's, I'm a fake Puerto Rican, I know! Admittedly, this stage was really tricky to work on, because I was basically making a realistic location for a game where the players look like this. But you know what? If Sonic can do it, why can't I? And I think the results are pretty good, actually. One detail that I forgot to add while I wrote this script was occasionally there will be a kite that'll fly across the stage, and that pattern will change every time. Now, the main inspiration from this just came from when I was a kid. When I would visit Puerto Rico and visit the El Morro, I would always see like people fly kites around, and I don't know, I just thought it would just be like a cute little detail to add and something very nostalgic to me. Honestly, this entire stage has no meaning other than just being personal to me, but I don't know. I just thought it'd be fun to add, and this was honestly a really fun stage to make despite the difficulty. But with that, that's all the stages I've made. Update! Due to this video taking a year and a half to complete, I have also made an opera stage that's inspired by the best Mickey Mouse movie known to man. It is a 4-platform stage where the platforms will bounce and shake whenever the player lands on them. It's really freaking cute. Anyway, back to the video. I believe it's about time I bring up the new weapons I've added. So last time I roughly had 5 main weapons and 3 sub-weapons, which gave us a total of 15 different combinations to work with. But what if I told you, not only did I nearly double the weapon and sub-weapon count, but I've nearly quadrupled the number of combinations. And what are these new weapons? Well, apparently I forgot to write in the script, so let me improv this real quick. So the first new main weapon is the Garden Hose, which is, stats-wise, the slowest weapon in the game. Despite that, it has the benefit of having really long range, which comes with the drawback of having a hard cooldown counter. Meaning, if you're not conservative with your shots, you'll be unable to shoot for a set amount of time. I do plan on adding a meter that shows how much ammo you have left, because during playtesting some people were having issues understanding the Garden Hose's unique ammo system. So I think by adding a meter it'll help alleviate some of that confusion. Next up is the Shower Shot, which some people have told me is like a Diet Liquid Snipe, with having more speed and control, with the drawback of having a smaller projectile and less knockback when shooting. Which makes the unique tech I showed in the last devlog a lot less practical, but that doesn't make it any less satisfying. Next up is the Aqua Popper that has very floaty stats, but has a ginormous projectile. Despite it being a very slow projectile, I've gotten a good amount of complaints that the bubble is, and I quote, too big. Another weapon I heard complaints about is the final weapon, which is the Ice Machine. Now, admittedly, it sucks when trying to shoot people in the air, but if you're trying to snipe people from the ground, it is absolutely nuts. Like, if you want to end friendships, just select the Ice Machine, go to the living room, and spam the X button. You will end that friendship immediately. Now, for the new sub-weapons, there is the Super Fan, which is the worst thing I've ever coded in my life. You think it would be easy to just push opponents away, but no, it is absolutely hell. It is literally the worst thing I have ever programmed in my entire life, and I want to just end it all. Next up is the Jelly, which is a very simple object to make. Basically, you just shoot out a jelly block that lets you spring up when you land on it. Not much more to say, to be honest. This sub-weapon was really easy to make, very simple to use and understand, and it's admittedly a lot more fun to use than it probably should be. Then there are the mini bath bombs, which are just bath bombs except they're smaller and have less cooldown. They're really easy to make, I have nothing else to say. And finally there is the booster, which is pretty much an air dash that was admittedly pretty tricky to make, but I loved how it turned out. It's really fun to use. But with that, that's everything I had to show. Oh wait, I forgot I made a pause screen. It's pretty simple, but I had to overhaul all my stages in order for the player to reset the match. It was a bit of a pain since Godot 3 lets you reset scene trees but not individual nodes, which wouldn't work for how my game is currently structured. But other than that, that's all I have to show. Oh, but wait, I forgot. I just finished making art for a stage that's going to be jungle themed, and I'm currently working on the stage with the art that I just made and working on the stage's gimmicks. But other than that, that's everything I have to show. Oh wait, no, I also have this title screen that has a shader that's very similar to the main menu I made, and you know what, I think you get the picture. There is a lot of things I've been doing and will be doing during the making of this video. I've honestly pushed the script back several times, because I would just add a new stage or a new weapon and I would have to redo an entire section. The thing is, I like to use these devlogs as a current snapshot of not only the current progress I'm making with these projects, but also how I feel about the project at the moment. But it's always so hard to do it when things are just constantly changing. As a matter of fact, as I'm recording this audio, I'm currently porting Splash out to Godot 4, which admittedly has been a process to say the least, but I feel like I'm at a point now where if I push the devlog back even further, it'll never come out. So I'll just leave it here for now. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, I really appreciate it. And you guys know the drill, like, comment, subscribe as usual. My Twitter is down below, even though I haven't really been using it that much since college has been really unfun. I really am not happy with this semester. I don't really want to get into it. It's just been really stressful for me. But it needs to get done. Anyway, thank you guys again for everything, and with that all being said, take care, comb your hair, and I'll see you guys later.